Here we go, take two. I guess I said something. Occasionally the sound doesn't record. So I just did a great video, but evidently universe doesn't want what I said out there. I must have hit on something pretty scary. Yeah, remember, hey, yeah, it's the 10th. It's 11:25 in the morning, Central Standard Time, January 10th, 2024, when I'm recording this one. Yeah, remember I am a psychic, clairvoyant, clairaudient, so everything's for entertainment purposes only. Okay, yeah, I've got family stuff, so I'm like trying to get things organized, so that's why I'm kind of a wreck today, but got to get this done. Um, now, we've got some stuff to keep your eyes open on. A lot of, we know that Blinken has been, Barry's puppet Blinken is back and forth in and out of Qatar. He's the secretary, he's whatever. So Blinken, we know, is Barry's puppet because we know JoJo's incompetent. We've seen the news clips of Barry and JoJo being at an event, and when JoJo stops talking, then everybody gathers around Barry, and JoJo's standing there like with his finger up his nose, not knowing what's going on. It's also been reported that Barry is in and out of the 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue for lunches. Yeah, Barry is like trying to make sure JoJo toes the line so Barry gets his 4th term in office. Barry needs to remember, but Barry was raised in Indonesia. He's a Muslim. He's not really good on American history. Okay, the last guy that went for a fourth term of office went for the job interview and got the job for the 4th time in a row. He got the job he was granted the job in November of 1944. He formally started the job in January of 1945, but by April 1945, the 4th term was too darn much for the dude, and he ended up coming back from, where was it, Georgia? In a box, and then was on a gun carriage. And then we got Give 'em Hell Harry. So Barry needs to remember, going after this top job for a 4th time, the last couple of guys didn't make it too long. Okay? Are you listening to Barry? Hey, but we know Barry's an idiot. He's all ego. And he thinks he's so swift, hiding the fact that Mikey's a guy. So, yeah, Barry and Billy and Klaus and Georgie Porgy and Rishi and Vanderlaan, they were all together trying to take over the world. But people were getting fed up with it. Big time. I mean, they see in Europe right now, okay, Germany, the clown boys, these idiot world domination idiots, the farmers are saying, F you. And now people from all over the European continent are now backing them up. So you've got basically the truckers, the farmers, the railroads, all people in all forms of transportation are saying, F you. And they're basically shutting down Europe. And the European politicians are starting to run scared. So they're now putting stuff up on European media saying all sorts of nasty things. And they're running scared. The European media is saying, warning people to be wary of right-wing extremists. Yeah, farmers, truck drivers, train engineers, people who no longer want to be told how to live their lives by some elite scumbag. Yeah, it's starting to rock. And people are starting to, more and more people are starting to wake up. You know, we've got Barry's Blinken back and forth in and out of Israel and stuff. But he's like, Blinken is saying, oh yeah, he goes, we need to have, he's pro-Palestinian, saying the Palestinian needs its own independent state. By doing that, Barry, who we know was raised in Indonesia, who's a Muslim, is giving a middle finger to everybody. And people need to realize that, you see, Adolf and his boys didn't just go after the Jews. They went after everybody that didn't agree with their politics. So back then, they shoved people into a boxcar and sent them to a Zyklon B shower. Now, instead of doing that, sending people off to be annihilated, they're bringing the annihilators into our countries. Yeah, we've got a bunch of Jihad Joes. They're all through Europe, France, Germany, all over the European countries. They're in the UK, they're here in North America, and now they're also being followed by the communist Chinese coming into California. They land on Mexico's Pacific West Coast and come right on up. So we've got Jihad Joe and Commie Kookbutt coming in. And they're waiting for their signal to start machete practice on us. I mean, DeSantis is saying, oh, let's defund the United Nations. Instead, let's turn that complex of the United Nations into a housing complex for all the wetbacks that have shown up in NYC. Because Adam's Apple and Baboon and the idiot that's running Denver, what they're deciding now to do is shut down the high schools. Because, you know, gymnasiums, locker rooms, showers, and they have a cafeteria. They're wanting to shut down high schools to house the migrant, to house the wetbacks, to house the Jihad Joes. Okay, this invading army. So instead of closing the schools in New York City, Adam's Apple, use eminent domain, take over the United Nations buildings complex, because they do have a gym, so they do have showers, and they do have cafeterias and dining rooms, kitchens. Park them all over there. These people are without a country, so send them in that section of New York City that supposedly belongs to no one. Dump them off in their own no man's land and let them reside in the UN building. UN does nothing anyway. It's nothing but a globalist front for world domination. So give them a taste of their own people. Send them in, put them to stock them up in the UN building complex. Yeah. Now, yeah, Barry's got his little puppet, Blinken, trying to basically, it's Barry's double middle finger to everyone who's not following that version of that cult version of Islam. That's what's happening. And they say, oh, these people just want to work. Duh. If they can, how did they pay to get from North Africa or Syria to Central America? I mean, how did they get across the Atlantic Ocean, through the Gulf of Mexico, to get dumped off on a Gulf beach, and then get their ass up to the Rio Grande so they could walk here? No, they're not political refugees. They're being paid to come over. Somebody else is footing the bill. And the same with going into Europe and crossing crossing the English Channel, they're being paid. I mean, these guys have brand new $1,000 cell phones. My cell phone is old, but when I bought it, it was only like $30. Yes, this is, I mean, these people are walking in, if you take a good look, these wetbacks, Jihad Joes, they've got big dollar item clothing items on them. And a few of the pictures, these guys are wearing Canada Goose coats. And their cell phones? Yeah, pretty pricey. Very pricey. And they're like, no, they're not political refugees. They're economic refugees. Well, the money that they spent or paid to get over here, if they took it back to their home country, they'd be the big shot on the block. Well, plus, we really don't have, thanks to their experiment of their isolation experiment that kicked off, that they're going to try doing again now. I mean, the 19C is on version, what, 6.0? Yeah. It's not going to work, folks. Been there, done that. We're not following. Many of us refuse to follow for that same line of bull poop. Yeah, okay, I can still say what I want to say because I'm not monetized. I'll get to my theory on that in a little bit. But, you see, here in the States, we've got people who go for the lower, people who work at the lower jobs, they claim. And we've all seen the news about the emergency hatch door that blew off at that Boeing jet the other day. Well, if you've noticed, Pete Butthead hasn't said a damn word. And they're also having fits because the bus drivers who are delivering the wetbacks to different sanctuary cities, oh, they're dropping them off outside of our, not in our zone. I go, well, duh. It's called, the Department of Transportation has hours of service. And they're supposed to be keeping an eye on everybody who is involved in the transportation industry. Well, Pete Butthead has really, really dropped the ball. Because he's not keeping an eye on the people that work for, like, the catering companies and the cleaning crews that go in and out of the aircraft. I have enough personal knowledge of commercial aircraft that something must have been done on that plane before or just after the pre-flight inspection. Now, back in the day, there used to be 3 guys in the cockpit. You had your captain, your co-pilot, and a flight engineer. The flight engineer was the guy who was responsible for going around the entire aircraft and doing a pre-flight inspection of the equipment, just like a bus driver has to, and a train engineer. Okay? The flight engineer would go and check stuff. I mean, he would literally be up with a flashlight looking up where the landing gear, the wheels and tires are, checking tread, looking up inside, looking into the engines with a ladder, looking through, making sure there was nothing, no crap in there, making sure he checked the underbelly while they're doing the baggage load in. And then they would start doing the inspection once the cleaning crew left the aircraft before the flight attendants came on. He would do a complete inspection of everything, the galleys and those emergency hatches. And that guy could say, if he saw something that wasn't right, he'd say, nope, not going. Get us a new piece of equipment. He could cancel the flight. Right now, because somebody dropped the ball and didn't do a thorough pre-flight inspection on that jet out in the Pacific Northwest, that's good reason to bring back the 3rd guy in the cockpit. And Pete Butthead has not said a damn word. I mean, here I do know that in the Chicago suburbs, okay, we've got the public transport. We've got, they call it PACE, is the bus service. I was informed that yesterday, Tuesday, all the bus drivers had to be at their terminal at 4 o'clock in the morning. That violates a lot of guys' hours of service. Why? Because the stupid safety manager didn't want to hold the meeting on a Saturday when you have no bus service. So instead, it's okay, Pete Butthead, so it's okay for a suburban bus public transportation company to violate terms of service. Yeah. This is the kind of shit that is happening. And our safety is being put into jeopardy because of Barry's appointees. We know that Barry likes white boys, really. I mean, he tolerates Mikey because Mikey looks good in drag. But Barry prefers white boys. Duh, that's what Pete Butthead is. Yes, Pete Butthead. Hey, 2 peas in a pod, he and Barry. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody has some video on the 2 of them. But yeah, all this stuff that's going on with our transportation supply train. Hey, it's like Pete Butthead's from South Bend, Indiana, which is like just a couple-hour drive from Chicago. So they must have been messing around for quite a while. So that's why Barry had Pete put in as Secretary of Transportation, so he'd be close by. Talk about sexual nepotism. Yeah, we all know that Fannie Willis, the dingbat down in Georgia, yeah, her boyfriend's law firm is the one collecting the big bucks from the state of Georgia to go after Donald. We knew she was a nutcase, but now it's really coming up to explode. So basically, she was laundering money. Guess that case has now got to be thrown out for conflict of interest big time. Give them enough rope, they all are going to hang themselves. Pete Butthead just hung himself because he didn't say a damn word about this. And he's allowing... Yeah, okay, it's... So what if it's... Yeah, it's local bus drivers. But because he's allowing local bus companies to violate hours of service... Not only is he putting my life in jeopardy, but everybody else's nationwide. Because he's tolerating this shit. But he's a little gay boy who wants his daddy time. And he couldn't be even bothered with a toxic chemical spill. Don't call me homophobic because, listen, you don't know all my background. And I was one of the first people back in the 80s screaming bloody murder about people with HIV, and the entire family needed support. Okay. Back then, Fauci basically was screwing everybody over by putting them on AZT and killing them off. Just like he did now, just not too long ago with his remdesivir. Fauci is a Mengele wannabe. Fauci basically made sure that a lot of guys that were gay, when they had to go into different hospitals for procedures, he's the root why a lot of the guys got bad blood, infected blood. And then when the families needed help and assistance, he told the insurance companies, no assistance. No assistance. But put him on AZT. AZT for a horrible death. But we know that Barry likes to keep things on the down low. He wants to stay in the gay closet. But that's why he's always been known for liking white boys. That's why Pete Butthead is where he's at. Yeah. And Mikey's around because Mikey knows how to dress and drag. Okay. Something else, it's like, yeah, favorite Swede brought up the fact that even now, people are starting to question, why did Sinead O'Connor, at the age of 56, all of a sudden drop? Was it because of the whatchamacallit? There's a new thing out there called sudden death syndrome. And one thing that most of these people have in common is that they followed Fauci's advice and allowed an unknown liquid to go into their body. Big time. That's what's happening. Sudden death syndrome. That'll be the new thing on the death certificates. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be the one. And then the other thing is, remember, they're allowing all these jihad Joes coming in. We know Blinken, when he said he's pro-Palestinian separate state, that's basically a double middle to every non-Islamic person in the world. Well, instead of way back when, all these complacent fools that aren't awake yet, they were loaded into a boxcar, then taken to a Zyklon B shower. Well, the new complacent fools are welcoming in all these jihad Joes and these commie chinks into North America and Europe, in the UK. So instead of wiping out the unwanteds via a boxcar and Zyklon B, they're going to have the jihad Joes have machete practice. So instead of taking the ones that aren't following protocol off to a camp, they're bringing the idiots to do the machete practice into our countries. Yeah. Blinken basically told the jihad Joes that we're not going to fight back. That's Barry for you. Barry, who was raised in Indonesia. I can't wait to see Barry told to play Superman off the Willis Tower. Yeah. Now, something I did want to bring up. Okay, I've told you all that we know that ABC likes to play games. And only if you agree to be monetized do they promote you. Well, it's January of 2024, and I had hoped that in the first year, I'd at least get 500 followers. Well, I'm guessing I do have 500 followers. Now, let's show ABC that I can match views on the videos to just as much, if not more, than my subscriber base, because we know they like to play with those things. Because not everybody has the luxury of being able to be monetized. I can't. Not unless ABC Corp is willing to hand me a health insurance policy. I can't afford to risk losing my Medicaid coverage, my Medicare and Medicaid coverage. So no, I can't be monetized. So let's show ABC. I'm asking all of you that watch my videos, hey, tell your friends, share it. Let's see if I can match number of views to number of subscribers at least once a week. Is that something we can pull off for 24? It's like taking the power back into our own hands. We're not dependent on a computer algorithm I mean, some guy probably has it. Well, if you're not monetized, we don't throw your videos up in rotations. But share them. Let your friends know. You can send the link in a message. You can post the link to the videos on X or Facebook Messenger or on your Instagram or your other, heaven forbid, TikTok. So let's show ABC Corp that we can do it without their assistance. That's the goal. And I am going to stick to it. It's like every other day a video goes up. If it's Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. is the pre-recorded video, and we can be in the chat stream. But if the scheduled day of the video to go up is on Saturday or Sunday, I'm going live. So yeah, this Sunday, the 14th, I'll be live at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. If it's Monday through Friday, pre-recorded at 4:30 Central Standard Time. So let's make this happen for 24. People ask, oh, what is your New Year's resolution? I'm like, we're going to beat ABC at its own game. Let's do it. We can. We can do it. So, everyone have a great night. Video up Friday afternoon. Bye.